over the keyboards, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, I can see everybody saying, okay, perfect, perfect. So, wonderful. Right, I'm gonna now share the screen. Please let me know that the screen is visible or not. One of you, please let me know if my screen is visible. Is it? It is. Perfect, perfect if it is, right. So, once again, all of you, those who have joined and those who are still joining, welcome, welcome to this session, welcome to this webinar of Speak Like a Pro in English. Yeah, we did a lot of workout behind identifying the crucial agenda for this session. So we're going to work on that, and yeah. So we're going to work on that, and later we are going to discuss very quickly that what are the fundamental aspects of the session today, right? Okay. So I hope you can see me, yeah, for the time being. As soon as the session progresses, I may need to turn off the webcam over here. Right, thank you so much. Okay, so, right. So particularly, the idea was to focus on the aspects of English, on the aspects of the spoken discourse of English language. The idea was also to focus on the aspects of language itself, because if we need to really focus and understand on the criteria for how to improvise our own speaking skills as far as English is concerned, we need to really take into consideration how the language works. So we're gonna play around a lot between many things. We're gonna play around with the language a lot. We're gonna also play around with some of the basics to some of the required necessary skills that is very much essential for speaking in English, and that too like a pro, as I said, like a pro. So yeah, before we begin with the overview of the session and everything, let me see in the chat, are you all ready? Yes, let me see in the chat, and the chat should go ready, 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 just like usual. Right, okay. Okay, I can see that ready. And I have one more question before we begin. One more question. You know what? I'm the guy who troubles a lot with the chat to people, but that makes that in a way I make sure that we are all excited. Is the excitement at the top level? Is it not? Is it not? Right. So I'm going to keep a tab on your excitement level even throughout the session. So you need to be, you need to be really focused on excitement level even throughout the session. So you need to be, you need to be really focused on that one. Ready with so much of enthusiasm, Bill, and I can see that. Thank you. Right. So, well, it's important to know, your facilitators of today. And this webinar has been brought to you by the Department of Learning and Development of Mahabharati University. And well, let's get to know your facilitators, up close. I know I can see a few of you have already been my students, but still, well, it's a go. So myself, my name, Brijmohan Yajnik, and well, I need to make a little change right there. I need to make that 16 to 17 plus. So yeah, 17 plus years of experience in ELT as a teacher and teacher's trainer. So I've been teaching students for language. I've also been teaching teachers to develop their language teaching skills. On the other hand, I am a training executive for the for the Department of Learning and Development, and I'm a professional training executive. I'm a Cambridge TKT rolled out student. I've cleared my TKT level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6 levels of TKT for test of knowledge teaching. Um, I'm a Cambridge SE, that is the speaking examiner. So SE stands for the examiner. If you have been into into understanding IELTS examinations and others, you will always have a speaking examiner conducting speaking examination. Well, that's one. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm also the part of the PSN Cambridge India, that is the Professional Support Network. And I train students for the Cambridge examinations at the level B1, B2, and A1 and A2. Other than that, I also train candidates for business, Cambridge Business English. And here in our university, most of my students know me already what I do. So in our university, I am the part of the Department of Training and Counseling under the Department of Learning and Development. And while I'm engaging students, fraternity at large for language learning. In today's session, we also have another expert here today with us, another facilitator. I'm going to welcome him. His name, Lokendrasingh Rathore. Lokendra sir, if you may, please.
So thank you very much, Brit sir, and good afternoon, everyone. So before I start introducing myself, I heartily welcome all the members in the webinar. Well, while talking about myself, my name is Lokendrasingh Rathore, as you can see on the screen. And right now I work as a training officer in the institute. Well, I have almost plus 9 years of experience into the same field of providing training on language and soft skills. So before than this, I worked as a corporate trainer, and I have also imparted training on IELTS, and I have given training for like almost 4 to 5 years on language as well. So, well, yeah, this is about me. And with that, I'll again pass it on to you, Brit sir.
Thank you, Loken sir. Thank you so much. So we are going to be the two facilitators today talking to you more often. Well, let's take a look at the overview of the session today. And yeah, there we go. So in today's session, as I told you, the agenda is going to hover over two major destinations. Number one is the language. We actually need to first understand the language. And we're going to understand the language from a different, from a different angle. And that angle which we are going to discuss is so important for us to actually understand how to, cultivate English into our routine and day-to-day communication. So we're going to first try to think about language. We're going to then identify the language learning needs. We need to then understand what do we actually need to improvise our English? What do we actually need to focus on to improvise our language? Slowly, after language learning process and the language learning aspects, we'll move to the communication. So we're going to talk about communication part. And we will then identify the communication learning needs, because we need to also understand that in communication, there are different agendas we need to focus on. So we'll focus on those agendas a little later. And last but not the least, we're going to talk about the speech qualities that we need when we speak or use English as a language for communication. Now, I have one more thing to say, and I think most of you might be aware about it. Whenever I am around, I always carry the bag of my experts, right? And I think many of you would agree with that. Yeah, would you or would you not? Let me see the chat, those who know me. I mean, those who have been my students. So I always have, the bag of my experts, and we also have the experts with us today. And I'm going to bring in those experts, more often, as in when I feel that I need them. And we are going to invite those experts. And when I say invite those experts, we don't just say yes. How do we invite the experts? How do we invite the experts when we are in the auditorium and suddenly the guests walk in? What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, we clap. See, we do round of applause. We do a round of applause, right? So that's so that's what we are going to do, right? Okay, in a minute, a moment. Let's move on with the agenda. Let's move on with the idea to work on the language, to work on the inputs, and there are so many things that we are going to talk about. There were so many things we are going to understand. We are going to share. We are going to communicate, and there on the other side of the screen, you're going to share many inputs, right? All together. Okay, so this is the idea, right? Okay, so now I'm going to request Loken sir to take over, and let's begin with the further journey. Loken sir, if you may, please.
So thank you very much, Fritz sir. Now, before I continue with my part, I would first like to confirm it from all the webinar members. If you can listen to me clearly, if my voice is properly audible. Yes, in the chat box would do. Okay, well, I can see many yes there, so that's nice. That's good. Well, great then. Let's move further. Okay. So, before I start speaking about what we have, what is the content of the webinar, I just want to discuss a few things about, what is the purpose basically. So there are a few things which, you'll already be knowing about, English language, the content, the information. There are a few things, which might sound like hammering, right? Like, we are infusing the information again so that you can digest it properly and use that in your daily life. But the main purpose of this whole webinar is to understand how you should learn things, how you should learn a content. So we are going to provide you some tools and techniques which actually can help you in developing methods, developing yourself in understanding and learning the information, right? So let's move further with that. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to talk about the major components of any language for that matter. So we can see these letters L, S, R, W. So first, I would like to know it from you. What do you think? What could be the full form of these things? What are these components basically? L, S, R, W. In the chat box, please. Major components. Excellent. Very good. Very nice. Yeah. Everyone, I want a response from everyone. Okay, Kashyap says these are words. Well, actually, these are letters. Reading, listening, speaking, writing. Great, very nice, beautiful. Okay, fine. So now let's see what it is. Well, I can see the same thing which I saw in the chat box. So guys, congratulations. What you have suggested is absolutely correct. It's L stands for listening, S for speaking, R for reading, and W for writing. So somewhere we are going to talk about these four major components, these four modules. And let's see what I have to speak about them. Yeah. Now, what I want you guys to do is, see, I'm going to share a link with you, and I want you to tell me what you think, how much percentage is held by, these different modules. How much weightage would you give to each one of them, right? So you don't have to respond for this thing into the chat box. Wait for a moment, and I'm sharing the link, for the polling booth. Give me a moment, and I'm passing it on to Britzer. Britzer, please.
Right, so are you ready for the poll, everybody? Come on, let me see ready in the chat. The chat shouldn't remain dull, right? See, that's the main point. If it's dull, it's dull. Right, okay. So I'm going to share the question which Lokendra sir just mentioned here. And this is a very important question, right? There goes the link. Please go to the link, and I think you also will be able to see the results of your entries. So the link asks you an important question. It asks you, how much importance do you give to each of the components while learning a language? You just need to drag the bar, and you just need to let us know. So I can see, around 76 participants minus 2 of us. So I can expect somewhere around 60, 65 entries. Okay, wow, look at the bar. Okay, right, okay. I'm gonna wait, we're gonna, we need more time for this. 7 entries, and we have listening on the top, we have speaking. Oh, speaking takes over now. And I hope you can also see the screen, you can see the results. Please let me know that you can see the results, one of you. Yeah, great, great. Also, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sneha. Right. Oh, Sneha, you cannot. You just need to swap the screens.
Well, it seems that people don't like to write much.
Right. They really. Okay. Right. So earlier it was. Earlier it was speaking. Now listening took over. So it's now a kind of listening, speaking, reading. Right. It looks like a staircase kind of thing. The importance level is kind of equally divided, but then writing, in order of descent. Right. I think 54 entries, and they are more than expected. What do you think, Loken? So 54 entries. Are we satisfied?
Well, I think this much of data will be enough to get the idea.
Right. Right. So that's perfect. That's this much data is enough to get the idea. So let's get back to your slide, and Loken, sir, please, give your insight on the entry.
Okay, so most of the people were voting for listening. I mean, most of the people say that listening is the most important part, right? Most of the weightage was given to that. Now, my question is, why would people think that listening is the most important part? Because to me, speaking also sounds good enough. Reading is also fine. Writing is also nice. So why would you say that listening is the most important part? Any particular reason? If you want, you can share that in the chat box. Okay, if we listen more, we can think and convey better. Okay. Well, the idea which you guys are giving, in the chat box, it is actually leading us to the right place. Now let's see what do we have as in fact, right? Okay. So how have we learned our language, right? So now let's talk about our first language. Particularly, I'm talking about that. So, like you guys have suggested that the most importance is given to listening and then speaking, then reading and then writing. So this is generally the process of how we learn and how we acquire any particular language, right? You think of your childhood, right? So how did you learn your mother tongue, the first language of yours? Did you attend any session? Did you take any grammar class? Did you go for any drills? Or you just kept learning them through people? Was it not in the air already? Because before we need to learn something, first we have to, okay, yeah, exactly, right? First we have to listen and think. After we can try speak, after that we can easily write or read. Well, absolutely, exactly, very nice, right? So being a child, the language we speak, that definitely and entirely depends upon what language people around are using, you know and we keep catching that information from the air, right? So 80% it depends upon listening. This example always work. You can think of your childhood. We speak only that language which we listen people talking it, right? Then speaking, yeah, first we listen, we improve our vocabulary, we take the lexical resources, we use those words into forming sentences, and that too again we learn from the people only. We take that from the environment only, right? And from there, we'll go to school someday. Academically, we'll try to read in that language, and then forcefully at the end, we would be asked to write things, and we'll do that too, right? So, well, I do agree on that. Most of the people, they don't like writing stuff much, right? But yes, this has been the process, and this is going to remain the right process of acquiring, of learning any particular language. listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So let's see what is. Okay, yeah. Let me pass it on to
Yeah,
Brisa.
I think Loken sir, I would like to, mention few things here. Thank you. Listening, when Loken sir, when you mentioned listening and when students were responding, I could read few responses from Himja and everybody that listening is the way we, learn a language. You know what? I mean, I always love to tell this to, my students and talk about it. And not just students, all the learners, all the fraternity. Um, when we talk about listening, I don't know whether you all of you are aware about it or not. A kid, a baby, a baby starts listening to the outer world when the baby is almost 4 months old in the womb of the mother. Look at that. Can you imagine that? When you're 4 months older in the womb of the mother, you start listening. Look at that point, right? And I think that is somewhere down the line. That's the reason that in our Indian culture here, the pregnant women are advised to read good books, right? To read Bhagavad Gita, to listen to good things. Yes, people, what do you think? Do you agree? There is a connection, right? There's a connection between this scientific reason and the cultural reason. What do you think? Right? Let's have everybody, please. Let me see. Let me see. So. See, now that is the point, right? That's the main thing right there. And maybe I have one more question. I have one more question from Abhimanyu's story. Yes, of course, Emja. So maybe I have one more question for all of you. As you can see it on the slide, between listening and speaking, has anyone taught you grammar? Come back and quickly tell me. Has anyone taught you grammar? Ever? 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 No, no, no. Okay, okay. Look at that. Look at that. All of you are saying no, 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 no. Okay, there goes the arrays of no. Okay, maybe one more question would help you more. Do you think when you communicate in your mother tongue, you use 100% appropriate grammar? Do you think? Do you think? Do you think? All right, that's another no. Oh, people. Okay, some people said, okay, one or two. I think I can see one or two yeses from few people, and that's very good if they are. But otherwise, if I remember, I cannot, right? But yeah, maybe, not always. Yeah, Leela said not always. Then I have one more question. Okay, I'm asking series of questions actually. One more question. What is the purpose when you're communicating in your mother tongue? Can you please let me know about it? What is the purpose? What's the purpose? Quickly and swiftly. What's the purpose when you communicate in your mother tongue? What is it? Yeah, I can see. Okay, yeah, I expected this one word again and again and again. All right. And Himja, a matured one, right? Personal conversation. But I think one word repeating again and again in each and every reply, I can see it. And, it's between understand and convey. Now, that's actually the purpose of using your mother tongue. Now, you know what? I have an expert now in front of us, with us, among us. And I'm going to call upon that expert who's going to give us more insight about what we have just discussed, what me and Loken sir has just discussed about. So with your permission, I would like to invite the expert on the floor. Please, there goes the expert. And what do you need to do when we have an expert? People, quickly. Ready, everybody? Ready to invite the experts? Yeah, applause. There we go. Right. And that's the expert of the day, right? He is the expert of the day. He's our first expert of the day. Let me tell you something about him, right? You need to know him. A professor of the University of Southern California, and he is the one who is considered to be the backbone of second language teaching. I'm saying second language teaching, okay? Look at that. Look at my term that I'm using. Second language teaching. He has written many books, and these books have become very, very fundamental to all the English teachers across the world on the basis of methods and approach and, pedagogies in teaching English as a language. And you know what? His name is Stephen Krashen, and he said something. And just for a little bit of fun and for you to think upon, I have removed that key word, right? I have removed one key word from what he has to say. So ready for what he has to say, please, quickly, and ready to think about that keyword? All of you, please. Let me see that you are ready, and ready, everybody. Okay. Right, let's see what he has to say. He said, look at that. He said, language dash does not require extensive use of conscious grammatical rules and does not require tedious drill. What do you think that missing word is or can be? Quickly. Language communication, all right. Language study, all right. I can see different responses now. Okay. Language of understanding, okay. Language, oh wow, Divya said acquisition, okay. What others has to say? Please. Language message, okay. Language itself. I'm still missing one keyword here. I thought, okay, language purpose, all right. Language speaking, language usage, all right. Language grammar, okay, all right. Who else has to say something? Okay, Roman said acquisition, okay. Learning, oh wow, yeah, now there is a word right there, learning. I was actually waiting for that word to turn up, okay. All right, well, let me show you what Stephen said. Stephen said, language acquisition does not require conscious use of conscious grammatical rules and tedious drill. It is for your language one, just what, Loken sir was discussing with you. And this is the meaning of acquisition. So your first language is actually acquired by you. You have not learned it, right? It is acquiring. Let me just put, two words in front of you in the chat so that, things are very clear in front of you. Just a moment. There you go. So now we are supposed to stop at this point of discussion between acquisition versus learning. And I think, Loken sir, would you please, give us more inputs on what exactly is the difference between acquisition and learning? Can you move further?
Well, sure, sir. See what Brit sir just talked about. Uh, when we talk about our mother tongue, we mostly listen to people. We mostly take everything from the air and we acquire the language. We don't put efforts into learning that thing, right? And that's the reason I would prefer here to call that acquiring instead of learning. But when we talk about learning a language, see that basically and mostly happens when you are intending to learn a second language. That would actually be called as learning because that is the place where you are actually putting efforts. And the process would also change for sure. Definitely that will change, right? Things would entirely change, I would say. It won't be wrong to say it that way. Let's see how it works when you are trying to learn a language. See, once again, I'm saying this. When I say learn a language, I'm talking about the second language, which is not your mother tongue, right? Okay, I hope that my language, my voice is uh, audible because I see somebody saying, Harsh saying, my volume is not that fine. Is it okay now, Harsh? Okay, perfect, right. Okay, thank you very much. Fine, so let's continue with what we were discussing. So yeah, when you talk about learning a new language, things change, process change. There is altogether a different viewpoint, of learning a language. So when you learn, mostly what you do is writing part, right? So we already checked that in acquiring a language wherein we were least concerned about writing. See, when you are acquiring, you are taking everything from the air. You're listening people, you are adapting the language, and then you're using the language into your daily life. But when you are learning a language, not acquiring, see, something where you must have your focus. When you are learning, it starts with writing, and it is mostly writing. 80% of that. See, this is something which you might not be aware of that well, right? And then second, it's reading. So yeah, we are mostly engaged into writing when we are learning. See, you can recall the times, childhood, learning a new language, A for apple, B for ball, if you can recall that time. So we started doing that with writing, and mostly it was writing. And then in schools, we were asked to read stuff. So we wrote first, we read a lot, and that is I know that's how we started having our hold over this second language. You know, guess and tell me what could be the third one. 80% writing, 55% reading, and then comes what? In the chat box, guys. Is it listening or speaking? Okay, okay. So one says listening, and rest of the people mostly are opting for speaking part. Great, nice. And the correct one is speaking. And then comes listening part. So, just check this thing. How it was most important in how listening was most important when we're talking about acquiring the language, and how it became least important when we are talking about learning the language. So I'm not saying that listening becomes least important, but it is how people actually follow the process. When you are learning it, writing becomes most important, then reading, then speaking, and then listening. Now let's try and understand the same thing via a bar graph diagram. Okay, so now tell me, for which one does this part stand for? So is it like, the acquiring part or the learning part? What do you suggest? First, Milan says, and first is what, Milan? Okay, acquired. Mansi says learning. Okay, rest of the people, what do you suggest? I want a response from everyone. I can see 92 members in the meeting right now. Acquiring, acquiring. Very good. And it seems that you are acquiring the content as well. Very nice, guys. Excellent. Impressed. Fine. Great. So yeah, listening most important, speaking little less, reading lesser than that, and writing is least important when we talk about, and you guys are right, that is acquiring. And the second one for learning the language, right? So if you check out the graph, you'll see that things have, if you see it that way, it has changed everything. All the process, all the concept changes entirely. What was most important in acquisition is least important in learning, and vice versa, right? So why we stressed on this part this much, because it is very important for everyone to understand. See, looking at these two charts, what comes to your mind? What hits your mind? What, how should we learn a new language? We saw how the process goes in acquisition, and we learned how the process goes in learning. So what changes can we make, or what can we infuse into our process of learning which can make it better? What do you think? Okay, Himja says, so do you think if we follow option one can be better, learn a second? Wow, Himja, I would say what you think is absolutely correct. Communication plays vital role. Aniket, very good, very nice. Listening should get importance. So, well, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely correct. But along with that, my question is, see, when we are learning something, no, at that time, what elements can we take from acquiring the language to make learning more smooth and more, impactful? To learn language, we would make our atmosphere accordingly, so listening will be more. Very good. So we should emphasize a little more on the listening part, even when we are learning the second language, right? Listen carefully, okay? By acquisition, it's easy and fun way to learn new language. Consistency is okay. Very nice, very nice. Excellent. Communication is more demanded in professional life. Okay, fine. So guys, the responses which I'm receiving from all of you is really exhilarating. Now, what I want is, I would like to see what Brij sir has, in his opinion, to talk about this thing. So, Brit sir, to you, please.
Right, Lokendrasingh, thank you so much for taking us this far. I think we need to first understand clearly the difference between acquisition and learning. I think this is almost done. Also, while we are in progression of this session, few of you listeners might be thinking, why are we discussing this? Well, the point is, if you need to really work on your second language, that is English, you really need to understand the process of both. Because unless and until you don't understand, you will not realize what are the important, you will not realize what are the needs that you need to, satisfy for you to make yourself to be able to communicate in English properly or appropriately. Now, one question I need to ask, and you have already answered, I think. But the second question I need to ask is, when you were learning your second language, English, and let me take you to that, slide back again. In between writing and speaking, has anyone taught you grammar? We are talking about English now. We are not talking about Gujarati or your mother tongue. Has anyone taught you grammar? Quickly, please. A lot? Oh, okay. Okay, I can see a lot. Okay, a few people saying a lot. Okay, right. See now, so much. Okay, yeah, Kashyap, so much, right? I mean, so much so grammar every year, right? Since grade 3, I think. Yeah, grade 3 you start learning grammar. Grade 4 it's the same thing. Grade 5, grade 6 it's a little bit of upgrade. You go for grade 7, 8, more upgrades come up, and then it's stagnant. In grade 10, 11, 12, you don't do much in grammar, but you do the same things. Now, that's what the difference between acquisition and learning is all about. Few people, when they are trying to, go to, consult themselves from, maybe some language learning institutions or maybe some language learning websites, they say that if you want to learn English, you actually don't need grammar. Well, they are right, but they are right about it if they are talking about English from a mother tongue point of view. Because Krashen already said that you don't need grammar if you're learning your mother tongue. Well, English is not your mother tongue, and the point is your grammar needs to be in place in order to help you communicate globally appropriately. So now the question that Lokendrasingh was really punching in, and the question was, what should be the exact way for us to learn the grammar, the English? Well, let me showcase you it here. So if you look at this part, you can clearly see it, and let me try to use a highlighter. Let me I want to just highlight a few things over here. Look at that. So learning is artificial because we are talking about English here. But when we talk about your mother tongue, it's natural. It's so much so natural. Also, Himja mentioned it's all about personal communication. She's right. But when it comes to learning, it's so much so technical. We need to learn many technicalities, right? The language learning, the L2, is all about forms. We need to focus on grammar. But here in mother tongue, we don't need to focus on grammar. Now, the main point. When you are learning English, because you are all adults now, you need to, you're all grown-up, I think, grown-up adults now. You need to now focus somewhere between language learning and language acquisition. Because for you, both the points are very important, to go according to the form and also to be able to communicate appropriately. So now for you, the new way of learning is the midway of learning. You need to follow the acquisition, the combination of acquisition and learning together. Because you're not child anymore, right? Yeah, you may be very careful when you are, when you are way grown up in your future, you're married and you have your own kids. Take care that they listen to English songs all the time, so that they grow up and they speak in English all the time. See, that happens at that level. And I don't see any responses as a laughter too. Come on, you guys are expressionless or what? So, did you guys understand what I was trying to say here? Yes? Did you or did you not? Right. So, yeah. So that was the point. See. See, when we talk about language learning process, it starts from your birth. Now you are midway. So we need to follow the midway. Okay, let's take my example. Let me show you, let me talk to you about my example, and then, I'm going to put in front of you some alternate, standards. I was born there in the United States, and my mother tongue was English. I mean, some people think that, oh, you are Indian, so no one in your family speaks Gujarati. No, I mean, my mother tongue was English, honestly. And more importantly, a question to all of you. Do you think I was taught English grammar when I started speaking in English as a mother tongue? Do you think anyone has taught me English grammar then? Right? Just like in your case. Just like in your case, no one taught you Gujarati grammar, so was in my grammar. Now look at the beauty. If you compare an average grade 5 student from any schools in United States with a grade 5 student from any schools across Southeast Asia, what do you think? Whose grammar would be better? What do you think? What do you think? Whose English grammar would be better? Can you tell me? Can you quickly tell me in the chat? Oh, the chat's taking time. It's taking time. No, Himja, there you're going little weird. Himja, no. It's us, because we are taught English grammar. And see, when I was in my school, I'm in a situation where I'm learning the grammar of my own mother tongue. I'm going to take more time, okay? I'm going to take more and more time to understand it. Imagine someone teaching you the grammar of your own mother tongue. How would it be? How would it be? Be difficult? Yeah? Yeah, Imja, did you get the gist now? Did you get the point? Yeah, see, so an average Indian student of grade 5 has a better grammatical skills than an average, a student of schools from United States. The reason is they know that their language is used in global communication, and so they need to focus on the grammar of their mother tongue. Look at the point. Right, but no matter what, we do understand that these are some of the important aspects of learning our language. Moving on, I'm going to now share with you an important picture, and you're going to look at that picture for a while, right? I'm going to give you a minute or so, and I think even Lokendrasingh sir will be, with me, delivering his ideas over that picture. So let me show you the picture first. I want you to just look at it, okay? Just look at it, okay? And tell me in the chat, within a minute, which one of the milestones did you pass through while you were learning English? Remember, I'm talking about English, E-N-G-L-I-S-H, English. So these are the milestones of a language journey, right? What do you think? Which one of the milestones did you come across? Please, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Take your time to read, maybe not more than 60 seconds. Right, okay, so Rohan says having real communication, watching films. Okay, look at these different types of responses. Look at that. I mean, that's so amazing. Look and say, what do you think? Isn't it amazing? I mean, look at these responses. They all have different experiences. What do you think about it? Yes, Lokendrasingh sir, what do you think about it?
Well, honestly, if you ask me, see, I have been watching this. Okay, a moment, please. Yeah, okay. So, well, I have been looking at this slide for some time, and if you ask me to choose one, honestly, it's really going to be difficult for me. You might say, you might feel that I'm not a person who can take a stand on this one at least, but asked such a question, I would go for more than one. Because honestly speaking, I have been into real conversations and I like having that. I get involved into that a lot many times. So yeah, I am on that one. Then I like watching film, reading book in English in the second language. I do that too. The moment I pick up grammar book, I, really get curious about learning new things. And I have this love for the language as well. So, well, you asked me, and I would say that I would like to go for more than one. I cannot pick and stand on only the single one out of these options. So this is what my opinion is. Back to you, Bitzer.
Right, Loken sir, thank you. I mean, yeah, that was something. That was something from Loken sir. And look at these people falling in love with language, foreign language, encourage and mentor, watching movie, film. Look at sir, if you ask me, right, I would say, I would stop on one point actually, because I was really wondering what could be the one of the major milestones. If you ask me, I would say, for me, to fall in love with a language is one of the major milestones. The moment I feel that I'm connected with this language, I would be able to express myself. I mean, I would be able to express myself more, passionately. And then I have that enthusiasm, I have that zeal, I have that, passion. I want to learn it, right? So then it is there from within me, from within my soul, within inside of me. And I think I think that is important for me. All right. So this was something, isn't it? So language learning path. Usually we go through so many stages of learning a language, and well, that's what it's all about. Okay, moving on. So these are the language articulation needs. Now look at that. Now we are coming, we are closing in. We are actually moving towards the core. Now look at the articulation needs. We really need to focus on these major criterias of English if we really need to speak like a pro. Right? Again, moving around the topic also. So look at that. Morphology, syntax, right? Coherence, cohesion, and I think, all right, the last one is phonology. So look at sir, would you mind, giving us some insight on some of these words, please?
Sure, Bitzer. So yeah, since we're talking about the articulation needs, well, these are those things which we must be knowing, right? So when we talk about morphology, so lexical resources, vocabulary. So this is what it is when we talk about this. And syntax means grammar. The way we form sentences, the key structures. So that is the part of syntax. Coherence and cohesion. See, whenever you're writing a content, whenever you are, building up a content, you always need to follow a flow. You need to write things, you need to speak things into a flow so that it must be easy and convenient for the listener or the reader. And that is made possible by coherence and cohesion. If you have right knowledge about that, trust me, your reader or your listener is always going to get the right meaning out of the content which you are presenting. And then lastly comes phonology. That means how you are pronouncing things, how you are pronouncing the words, which is again one of the very crucial and significant part of any language, right? With that, let's move further. Yes, exactly, Milan. You are absolutely correct. Okay, so over to you, Bitzer.
Right. I think that was a biggie. I mean, we did discuss a lot over here on this slide. So yes, as Loken sir said, coherence and cohesion is important in both written and spoken discourse. Right. So you need to be making sense when you say something. Right. You cannot just beat around the bush. So how can you make sense? You make sense when you use certain aspects, certain key aspects of vocabulary content in English language, right? Let me give you some examples. For example, you know, uh, as you progress further, eventually you will realize that there are many things for you to learn. In addition, right, in addition to that, there are things which you may also unlearn. Look at these words. Furthermore, eventually, in addition. These words are making more sense to my statement than any other words. And these words, they make cohesion in a sentence. They make coherence in a sentence. Now, how to come across these words? Well, that's us. That's all about practice, right? That's all about practice all the time. So English is all about basically, practicing and spending more time. So I was like, just sharing it with Loken sir just before we started the session, that these students will be here with us for 1 hour, 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes here and there more. But what after that? Are you really going to focus further? You need to, because we are talking about language learning, right? We are talking about adapting the same language into ourselves. So you need to actually give more time to this. What you need is a guide, right? And we are all here to guide you, right? All the time, all the time. Okay, moving on step by step to each and every part. Let's go to the grammar first. Now, definitely, and definitely. Do you think, okay, let me ask a question in a different format. If tomorrow, right now, most of these are these students, they've learned in the Bay. But in general, if in the university there is an announcement of a English grammar workshop, how much attendance do you expect? Come on, tell me. I know it's funny. I know it's funny to ask, but what do you think? What do you think? How much attendance? Quickly. 150? Very less, right? Rhythm. Okay, 30%. Okay, Kashyap is more, bent on giving percentile. 30, sorry, 30, not more. Okay, very few. 10. Okay, all right. 100. Okay. I don't know Harsh. I don't know Harsh. 50, 40. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's going to be less. The reason, it's because the way we have understood the grammar and the way we have been taught grammar so far in our education system has been a grammar by the textbook, and it always has been by the textbook. You need to, discover the grammar and explore it in many different angles, right? The actual grammar, if I talk about, you're not even aware about it more than 5%. You don't even know about it. You really don't know about it. And there is more grammar than you can even imagine. Every concept, every aspect of English grammar is something you don't know. You need to discover it first. So, well, if the right guy's teaching you, you would come to know what it is like attending grammar sessions. But I would like to ask you, what do you think the word grammar, the word grammar means to you? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the chat quickly. What do you think the word grammar means to you? Can you tell me? Quickly, and swiftly. Faster is better. Come on, guys. Faster is better. What do you think the grammar is? How to form a sentence, rules, right? Yeah. A one word go is good. It's comfortable. I'm comfortable with one word go. Okay. Principle of reading and writing, syntax, well communication, more of English rules. What else? What else? Right? Okay, all right, structure. Okay, meanwhile, you given your responses, let's go and ask to Loken sir what he thinks of grammar. Loken sir, what do you think grammar is all about?
Okay, well, honestly, I believe that grammar is something which you need to have, whether you like it or not, when you talk about any, learning any second language. Why is it important? Because like already, Bitsan has said, and I would support the statement that you compare the kids in our country with the kids, with the people in America, and you'll be surprised to see that, you'll be surprised to find that, the accuracy in our grammar is always better than that of the grammar in the content of people in America. So I'm not trying to defame their English, their language. I would say that I really love the way they speak, but this is again a reality, right? And why has this become a reality? The credit goes to the process of learning a language, and that is emphasizing on grammar part. So once again, see, if you ask me, I would also say that maybe learning grammar might not be that interesting part, but trust me, once you learn it and then you start applying that into your communication, into your conversation, it gives you more confidence. It really gives you more confidence, and it also helps you improve your fluency, because think about it. till the time you won't be knowing what is the difference between has and have in a statement. You will never be confident while using that in the statement. So you need to have some basics of the grammar to use, the same thing into your spoken language or maybe say written language. If you have that, trust me, you will see that into your fluency, and you'll feel more confident and comfortable while using the language. Over to you, sir.
Right, right. Yeah, that does make sense, I think, Loken sir. But Loken sir, I think one more point I would like to, this I would like to pinpoint this one. One reason many learners are afraid of learning grammar is most of the times when they are speaking in English, they are grammar conscious. Students, let me know, are you grammar conscious or are you not? Most of the times. Please tell me. Please tell me quickly. Quicker is better. Yeah. See, that's what's going on in your minds, right? So when you speak in English, right, when you're spontaneously speaking in English, right, you are so very conscious. Yes, Himja, I can understand that. You are so very conscious after you say every sentence and speak every statement. You know why? You know why? Who's the culprit behind it? The culprit is the way it has been taught to you. It has been taught to you in form of set of rules. It has never been taught to you in form of set of deductive rules. There are methods of learning grammar. What is deductive rules? You immediately implement it. You implement it more and more, and then it becomes so much so there in your unconscious mind. Every time when you speak in English, it comes out. So what you need to do is you need to build it up in you first, and you build it up in you in a right way, in a right process. I think, Loken, sir, you would like to say something?
Yeah, actually, I saw some of the messages questioning about what would be the best way to learn English. Should we watch movies? Should we emphasize a little more on grammar? So, see, I have one answer for that. See, it's not like you sail on only one boat. People say that you have to choose one side and go with that. But when we talk about English language, my suggestion is twofold. First, you need to see what your requirement is. See, are you going to apply somewhere wherein your English accuracy, your grammar accuracy, your lexical resources, all those elements, all those components are going to be, strictly checked? If yes, then guys, I would suggest that you emphasize on grammar part as well. But on the other hand, if you are emphasizing more on acquiring the knowledge, if you are more interested in making, good conversations with people, if you are more interested in, improving and work out on your fluency, well, in that part, I would suggest that have some basic knowledge of the grammar. You cannot leave that apart. Have some basic knowledge of that. Along with it, most important, be into an environment wherein you are listening, you are speaking English or the second language as much as possible. Like somebody already suggested, let me name the person. I guess Milan, yes. Milan said about this, that watching movies, watching series, how important you think is that? Well, in my opinion, it is really very, very important. So for those people who have been trying different ways to, learn language, to learn grammar, my suggestion is start following something which is fun, right? See, I do agree that reading newspaper is a very nice habit, but I would say that if you like it, then only follow it to learn this second language, right? Why so? Because if you're not liking it, no, probably you won't be able to continue with that for a very long time. On the other hand, say for example, you like watching series in English, you like watching movies in English, do that. It's fun. If it's fun, you'll keep doing it. Even if you won't be having your target in mind, to improve your language skills. Even when you don't have the target in mind, still you'll be doing it, and consciously, subconsciously, you'll be improving your language for sure. So yes, if you're asking this question whether you should do it or not, my suggestion is please do it. Over to you, sir.
Right, Loken, sir. Thank you. Yeah, those were some great inputs. You know, we can devise a plan in a simple format. I mean, yeah, Loken, sir gave some of the brightest of the inputs. And these inputs, let's devise them. Now, let me ask you, you will only tell me, right? If I divide a language into two different aspects, input category, and output category. So while learning a language, what do you think are the inputs? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. While you're learning a language from LS, R, and W, what do you think are the inputs for you? Got it, Himja, you got it all right. So reading and listening, these are your input parameters. So read as much as you can and listen to as much as you can, just as Lokendrasingh said, read the language. You need to be surrounded by a language, right? So read it. So the input, reading and listening. Listen to movies, listen to songs, watch movies. That also is a listening. Okay, what are the output parameters? Himja, once again, or others, please, all of you. We are all together. Yeah, speaking and writing. See, look at that. Now, these are the two other output parameters. So we need to also focus on output parameters, right? So just as Lokendrasingh said, watching movie is not enough. Yeah, watching movie, lot of input. Where is it all going? Just inside your heart and your brain? No, it needs to be coming out. So you need to have that environment around you. Find some good friends around you with whom you can speak in English. What I used to do when I was back here in India, I totally, there was a state that I totally forgot, all the things. And then I started speaking in English with myself. Some people would think that I'm crazy, but that's fine. That's fine. The crazy you is you, but you're learning at the end of the day. What do you think? Would you agree or not? Do you agree or not? Do you or do you not? Right? So if you don't get anyone, around you to speak with you, you speak to yourself, right? Read aloud, okay? Just say anything, speak anything, watch a movie, repeat a dialogue loudly. The production is important, output. So what I'm trying to say, I'll say it in Hindi and in English, once again, in both the languages. जितना input जरूरी है, उतना language को बाहर निकालना भी जरूरी है, right? So if you think that input is important, so is the output. But let's come back and focus on the grammar. And I have some of the experts who are going to talk to us about grammar in a bit more detail. Are you ready to invite the experts, please? Let me know quickly. Right, and how do we invite the experts? No, we don't invite experts just like that. We don't say ready. We say something else. Yeah, we say applause, clap, anything is fine. Okay, all right. Yeah, I can see all clap, and everybody. There go. All right. So these are the experts. We're going to talk to us a few things about grammar. Let's go to one of our first experts. Right. Well, he is an operatic tenor. An operatic tenor is the person who works more in opera. So yeah, I think you know what is opera, right? The opera is the opera theater, right? So he's the guy who works for an opera, and he's very much alive. He's almost 60 years old, and he's still working, breathing in opera houses. His name is Robert Brault. Robert Brault said something, and I'm going to show you what he said. And there is one keyword missing, and you're supposed to think of that keyword. Let me show you what he said. He said, grammar is not a set of arbitrary rules. It is a compact between people who wish to dash each other. And when I look at the word compact ko hum Hindi mein bolenge sandhi karar, something like that. Compact, right? So what do you think that dash is? Can you think of that dash, people? Wow, Milan says understand. What do you think? Others, please. Input. Okay, look at the dull chat. I don't like the dull chat. Do I need to sing a song like that? Right. Butterfingers, everybody. Move on. Okay, I can see one word popping up again and again, and that's understand, and it goes right there. That's it? Come on, we are like what, 69 around? Yeah, come on, people, think of it. Communicate? Wow, communicate. Ishika, communicate. Sneha, communicate. Devanshi, right. Okay, Milan, communicate with. Okay, communicate with. Right, that's fine. Okay. And understand. Okay. I think most of you got it right, and it's understand. See, that's the basic requirement, the basic reason behind the requirement of the grammar in your language. You really need grammar to be able to understand. If there's no grammar, there's a gap. And that gap will then remain unsolved, right? You cannot, bridge the gap there, yeah, you cannot bridge the gap, not brij. Okay, so, but yeah, brij can be the one who can help you to bridge the gap. I hope you understand that, right? Okay, so I can be the one, I'm the bridge who can bridge the gap. But yeah, so if there is no grammar, you can't actually bridge that gap. Okay, the next expert, are you ready? Are you ready for the next expert? Please let me know. 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 Right. Okay, so the next expert. I really don't expect you to know him. Well, he is, I don't know how to, I just would like to say one word about him. He was a great poet. His name, Richard Chenevix Trench, and he was really a great poet. And he was a poet in Anglican, era. So we are talking about Anglo-Saxon era, almost in 18th century. And he was also the Archbishop of the church. Now, look at that. No, that's a high post. Archbishop, a poet, he said something. Richard Chenevix Trench, and the word is missing for you. What do you think? What do you think? Can you think of the word? He said, grammar is the dash of the spoken as well as written discourse. What do you think? Wow, okay, look at that. Look at that, him just say soul, way, core, okay, wow, that's nice. Anyone else? Anyone else, please? Heart, okay, Harsh, Harsh is moving closer and closer. All right, Harsh, I got the point. Link, okay, Kashyap says link. Link is also making more valuable input kind of thing. Okay, way, okay, base, wow. Base is good, base is okay, good. Okay, path, a bridge, okay, Milan. Okay, all right, connection, collection, okay. All right, okay. I'm going to show you one word here that he said and tell me whether you agree with that word or not. He said, grammar is the logic of the spoken as well as written discourse. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you really agree with him? Richard Chenevix Trench? Yeah? Yes, it is. And I don't mean to say that I don't agree with what you all have to say, because what you all have to say, soul, core, heart, link, wave, path, bridge, all these are valid responses, right? So whenever I'm asking you something, whenever I'm asking a question here, in the session, during the session, I don't mean to categorize you between right and wrong. No, all your responses are valid always. Remember that. So good one. And one more expert, yeah, one last expert actually. So ready for him, everybody? Ready to go to the next expert? Shall we? Yeah, there we go. We shall. And I think the face is familiar or not. You may have come across one or the other literary notes from him during your school days. When? Well, a great American author whose many of his books are, converted, and many great Hollywood movies are made, from his book. Some of them are It, and I don't know. There are many great movies made on his book. A few other, yeah, Shawshank Redemption was one of the movies. Dr. Sleep, is also one of the movies. Well, his name, and somebody has written something. Do you know his name? Yeah, do you know? Okay, no, nobody. Okay, all right. His name, Stephen King. And Stephen King said something about grammar, and this time here for you, there is no blank. It's something that you're supposed to just read. Let me show you what he said. He said, grammar is a pole you grab to get your thought up their feet and walking. And you need the pole to grab only when you're walking on a string, right? So look at him expressing the language. To walk on a string is like a language, and you really need a pole to walk on that language. The pole is a grammar that helps you to balance yourselves. So did you understand what Stephen King has to say here? Please tell me, yes, you understood. Please tell me, yes, 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 and all the yeses from across. Right. Right. So, right. That's a major one. So the point is, wow. Okay, Sudesh, thank you. I didn't notice a few people here, and Sudesh, good to have you. Right. So, so the point is, grammar is the all of you said right. Grammar is the soul. I can say it's a skeleton. I can say it's fundamental. Right. I mean, words are less to speak and talk about grammar more and more often. Casually speaking, you need to learn grammar. But yeah, of course, you don't need to learn grammar just about the things you know. No, you need to learn grammar from the point of view that you don't know. And let me tell you one more thing about grammar and what is grammar learning like. My very dear friend Plato, 2,000 years ago, I always try to explain him like that. So my dear friend Plato, from around 2,000 years ago, and he was born in, I should say he was born in the ancient era of Greece. And he was the one who was the founder of the school, of the academy. He was the master of psychology, physics, philosophy, everything. He said something, about, he said something. Let me tell you what he said. He said, let me tell you the Spanish version of what he said. He said, bello el rischio della scoperta. Bello el rischio della scoperta. And the meaning of this, I'll just tell you, you don't need to read anything or anywhere. Just listen to me carefully. The meaning is, there is a hidden beauty in the risk of discovery. I'll say it again. There is a hidden beauty in the risk of discovery. And now connect this with grammar. Learning a grammar is actually discovering every new concept every moment. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, you haven't started yet, but yeah, when you start, it should be like this. And when it is like this, you will actually understand what exactly the grammar is all about. Are we clear about that? Yeah, we are, aren't we? We are, aren't we? Are we clear about that? Please let me know. Let me know quickly. I'm waiting for your yeses. Right, so there are lots of yeses from everywhere. See, that's the point, right? Okay, so that's the main beauty of it, right? So when we talk about grammar, you don't need to get nervous, right? On the other hand, it's also very important that you focus on the vocabulary. That also is elemental. You need to express yourselves, right? And last but not the least, you need to definitely focus on the, phonology. And phonology is where you actually study sounds of language, pronunciation. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of the word pronunciation, please? Quickly and swiftly, faster than usual in the chat. I'm waiting. Let me see. Let me see that. Let me see that. How we sound? Yeah, are you sure? How we sound? You sure about that? How we sound? Okay. How you speak? Okay. The way of correcting? Okay. The way of correcting, Imja goes way deeper than required. Way of speaking. Way of speaking what? Okay. A way of, okay. People, more people. Come on, we are almost 70 who are here. Please, everybody. More inputs? On pronunciation, it's more like tone. Oh, Milan, you are a confused soul. All right. Okay. Well, on a lighter note, Milan, tone is different than pronunciation. So tone is different. Many people also confuse pronunciation with accent. Accent is also different than pronunciation. Now, let me give you a simple example of what is tone and what is accent, because accent is very much close to tone, but pronunciation is definitely not anywhere closer to tone or accent. Let me tell you what is accent. Let me give a simple example. Now, you tell me. The way people speak in Gujarati in Rajkot, does it sound different than the way people speak in Gujarati in Ahmedabad? Please tell me yes or no. I mean, it is up to you. Yes, 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 yes. Everybody, 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 everybody. There goes everybody. Yeah, okay, good point, good point. One more point. People together, I mean, Gujarati spoken together in Rajkot and Ahmedabad is definitely different than Gujarati spoken in Surat. Please tell me, quickly, quickly and swiftly, right? Faster than usual, faster than usual. Yes, Nidhi. Right, okay, good point, good point, good point, good point, good point. Once again, all these three together, they are definitely different than people, the way that people speak in Mehsana. Yes, are they? Are they? Are they? Well, yes, it's a yes. So now let me tell you, this is accent. Accent is region-based, right? It's based on the region where you're surrounded from, right? So, and one more thing let me add here. Accent is always, all about a mother tongue. So you cannot say the English accent for Indians. No, you can't say that. Because in India, we don't speak English as a mother tongue. But yes, you can say American accent, that's different. You can say British accent, that's different. Even in America, you go to different states, the accents are different. The accents in Chicago is different than people living in Iowa, right, or Ohio. Their accents are definitely different. So accent is totally different than what you think it is. And I hope now Ali Asgar would understand what exactly the accent is. Yes, Ali Asgar, Fareen, everybody. Please tell me that you are now, yeah, Milan, you too. And so is the tone. Tone is also something different than pronunciation, right? So I think, I think we'll go to Loken sir and ask him a few things about accent, if he can, draw in some more light. Okay, Loken sir, if you may, please.
Okay, thank you, Brit sir, for passing it on to me. Well, while talking about accent, see, accent is something wherein you might have your interest. Yeah, some of the accents, I'm talking about foreign accents; those are very much intriguing. But at the same time, you should not get yourself confused with the quality of the language with accent, because you see at most of the places wherein these organizations, they test your language skills, but they never emphasize on the accent you are holding, right? So it's fine if your accent is, not American, not British, not Australian, even if you have Indian accent, but with accurate grammar, with right pronunciation, with right language, you know and if you're pronouncing things properly, if you're emphasizing on the right pronunciation, then it's okay, then it's absolutely fine. You don't have to stick to some particular accent of any of the countries, right? But yeah, if you have your interest into that, learning it is not a bad idea. Okay, with that, I was reading the messages, and I checked out one of the messages written by Millen. Says, grammar is born, you like it or not, without the structure, language is not solid. Well, I would say it's really wise of you to think it that ways. See, reason being, we are living in a country where not all the people are, around us are communicating in English language. So compared to country like America, London, England, so these countries, they have this conducive environment wherein people keep communicating with each other in the language. So even if you're not emphasizing too much on the grammar part, still you catch the statements, you catch the words, you catch the vocabulary from the environment, from people, right? But in our country, well, it's not that common. So, it becomes important for us to have a mixture of both. We have to first learn things through written, the process we saw. We have to emphasize for the second language. We have to emphasize first on writing, then uh, reading, then speaking, then listening. And once we become a little more comfortable with the language, then we can step, a little forward and can jump onto the process of acquiring it. We then can emphasize more on listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So you have to understand this at what stage you are and what you need more. See, this always is going to be there. What you are learning is important. It is very important. The content is very important. But how you are learning that, it is an absolute imperative. It has to be flawless. You cannot make mistakes in that. Otherwise, you'll keep putting your efforts and all that effort will go in vain. So that was, I see, that was the purpose of this session, to make you understand that what stage, what level you are at, and how can you improve your level, which all components can actually help you out in improving yourself. So you have to choose the right thing and lead yourself in the right direction, and then only you can expect yourself to be really good with the language, right? With that being said, I would like to end up the session here and would like to pass it on to Brit sir as well. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. To you, sir.
Thank you, Loken sir. So yes, that's very true. I mean, accent is, let me tell you, accent training takes more than 18 months, sometimes even more than that, right? And I think you should experience one accent. What is it like learning an accent right now? Would you like to? Would you like to? Come on, let me know. Would you like to? Would you like to experience that? As of now? Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay, you will. Let's experience one little bit of thing in American accent. Let me tell you something, and listen to me very carefully, okay? Word boundaries. So what are word boundaries? So for example, if I'm writing a word, let me write you two words, okay? Good boy. So the word boundary here is D and B, right? So D and B are the word boundaries. Now, in accent, mostly in American accent, something happens at word boundaries. The pronunciation changes. So let me just show it to you what happens. Let's take one example. Whenever at word boundaries, there is D and Y, okay? I'm saying D and Y. Whenever there is a D and Y at the word boundaries, it is pronounced as J or J, okay? So now let me show it to you. What are such words? Let's say would and you. Let's say could and you, okay? And let's say should and you. So now look at all these word boundaries. D plus Y, and D plus Y. And at all these word boundaries, if you really want to produce American accent, then now look at me and listen to me carefully. Not look at me, but listen to me carefully. And you may, repeat it. So would you, in American accent, will be, would you? Would you please come with me? Would you please go there? Would you please come out of your room? Would you please accompany me? Would you please come here? Would you? Right? So see, did you hear it? Did you notice that? Joe? Yes? Please tell me you did. Right? Okay. Similarly, could you please come out? Could you go there? Could you walk out of here? Right? Okay. Maybe last one. Should you do this? Should you come with me? Right? Should you do that? So you can't learn it in an easy track, on an easy track. And ultimately you can't, if you're learning it for the first time, you would end up by saying something like this. Could you go? Would you come with me? Would you please bring so? It sounds funnier than usual, is it not? So accent learning is a next level thing. It takes more determination, more passion and everything. But what we can focus on is perfect pronunciation. And it's the field I'm all into. It's all about me. It's all about it. And I think in our next webinar series, which we are going to announce very, 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 and very soon, we will be discussing these speech qualities of English language. So then we'll be coming over and talking over how you can actually improve and work over on your pronunciation, on intonation, modulation, and stress patterns. And I hope you all will be there. Will you be? Will you be? Will you be? Will you be? That's an uneasy question to ask, but I hope you all will be there. Right? Okay. Right. Okay. Definitely. And yes, it's from everybody. Okay. Good. Good. So I think we will float very soon. I mean, sooner or later, we will float one more such amazing webinar, right? And in that, we'll be talking deeply about perfect pronunciation, stress patterns, intonation, modulation, and so on, right? On saying that, I'm now going to share with you two things, a feedback form and the attendance. So please stay put for maybe 2 more minutes, and then we'll be done with the session for the day today. I definitely hope that you guys have actually understood something and few things about language, a few very, very important things about language. First thing coming up on your way is the attendance. Please take a note of that. And right, there we go. One of you should tell me whether it's accessible or not. Please tell me. It should be, because I never keep any restrictions. All right, it is accessible. Good to go. Good to go. Please fill in the details there, and I am sharing the feedback form with all of you. So please fill in that too. So this is a feedback form. One of you should tell me whether the feedback form is accessible or not. Maybe Mansi or Kuldeep, Raj. What do you think? Is it accessible? It has to be. Yeah, Shrishti, accessible. All right then, that's it. I think that's it from my end, and that's it from Loken sir's end. And I think it's time for you to just do the much awaited documentation right there. A little bit time, a few seconds, and then you may progress further with your daily routine. You may log out and continue with your daily routine. Thank you so much, so very much for attending this webinar. And I hope you have had, a legitimate idea about what should you be and what should be your, what should be your insight about when you're learning a language. So you need to be very clear about that. And I think now you have a proper vision. Now you have a proper a determination, a focused and pinpointed goal that what things you should be doing if you are supposed to learn English to speak like a pro. That's it from my end, guys. That's it from here, from the Department of Learning and Development, Marwari University. Thank you, all of you. And until we meet next time, the webinar series, next series of webinar will be announced soon, right? Until then, I hope and I wish you all do a great, with you friends, with your family, and with your relatives. Have a happy weekend. Have a happy week. Have a happy coming days. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay fit all the time, and stay ready for learning all the time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the session. And that's it from my end. That's it from our end here. Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. You may start leaving the room if you're done with both the documentations of filling in the attendance and the feedback form. I shall put up the feedback form one more time here, if some of you may have missed it due to longer chat messages. That's a feedback form.
Guys, don't miss out on filling the attendance. Yeah, guys, don't miss out on filling up the attendance, and the request to fill up the feedback form as well. And once you do that, you may feel free to leave the meeting. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, guys.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Harsh, I can see your question. You're asking about Stephen Krashen. Well, Stephen Krashen was a linguistic. He didn't write any books. I mean, he definitely wrote many books, but those were the books for the academicians. You must be asking about Stephen King, and Stephen King has written many books. You can go and Google it out, and you will get the idea about that. Right. Still, if you don't get the idea about that, you can get back to me anytime. Oh, you are unable to, Ali Asgar? It's really not possible because the link is open for all, Ali Asgar. You can log it out one more time and try once again, please, if you can. It's very much open and kept open for all. I see very less entries there. I don't know why. Maybe all of you. Yeah, please. The feedback form, guys. It's so very important for all of you to fill it in. I'm sharing the link once again. Unable to access the feedback link. Are you? I don't know. I mean, okay. Let me make sure about that, please. Let me see. Right. I'm gonna share that link one more time because that's not possible. All of you, it has to be accessible, right? Please go through that one more time. All right, everybody. That's it from our end, and I guess we'll meet soon in the next series of the webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this webinar, and that's it from our end. Bye-bye, everyone, and thank you so much.